All right, what are we going to do? What do you want? What are you thinking in terms of?
Share.
Okay, not doing it.
I have no problem, but this grows real long and wild.
The gist of it all is that the donor's decent, okay? The gist of this whole thing is that we're moving a relatively small amount of hair compared to what was once there, all right? So we want to pick and choose, and we want to prioritize, okay? And that's sort of the realities of this whole thing. So if we go and you know, pick a number, and we sort of picked a rough number of 1,800, we're going to focus, I think, on your forelock, because this is what frames your face, all right? We're going to focus on this area because this area bridges it, all right? And then we can either ignore this back here, or we can throw a handful more hairs back there like you have now. You've got some random single hairs. What's the purpose of doing that? There's two purposes. One is to break the space. So artistically, you kind of, you know, softening the space, all right? The other thing that if we were to throw, say, 100 back through here, people call them sometimes anchor hairs, all right? And what it does is as you bring your hair back through there, they anchor it in place. So it holds things down and in place a little bit better, all right?
That sounds pretty good. I thought we were going to leave that alone completely, and I was a little concerned about that because it kind of looks like I had an ass on the back of my head now.
Well, I'm thinking, you know, it's not going to cover anything.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like, you know, you take pictures, you know. I mean, what you're trying to do is do a little smoke and mirrors and try and take a little of the space out with an image rather than actually a lot of hair. And that's
I would imagine for my age, too, that's very natural back there, whereas
it's very natural.
The front should.
How old are you now?
52.
I was supposed to ask that a while ago.
Oh.
Yeah, the answer is yes. All right. And the other thing that's good about you is you've got this kind of curly salt and pepper stuff. All right, and curly salt and pepper hair covers well. It works well for us. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw in some pictures. Okay. Sure. This is sort of the dimensions that we hold. All right. I got a lot of hair, and I still have that dimension. All right, we're not going to come down below that. Again, we're trying to consolidate the space we're covering because that gives us density. All right. So basically, that's about where you start now. Okay. And again, you know, this is kind of like what's your eye see? Your eye will make this look thicker than it is or wider than it is. I'm going to draw a little forelock in and you'll say, well, wow, it's kind of thin, all right? But once it has hair in it, it creates an image of being a little wider than that. Again, this is what's framing your face, all right? And again, what's going to happen is as it gets heavier, all right, if you can imagine, I'm trying to sort of make that look a little heavier. It'll look like it's coming down a little bit more, all right? Sort of more like that, if you will.
Okay.
That's really, this is actually in front of all the hairs on this side. This is not in front of all the hairs on that side. But there's really, once you start putting these blue lines in, you start seeing that they really aren't symmetrical. Okay.
Now, the question about the donor hair is dark. Well, I can't see back there. I assume it's dark. Does that have any influence up there because this is going gray?
No, it's just going to be more salt and pepper.
Okay.
The dark, it'll hold the dark. It'll hold the dark. So this will look darker.
Okay.
This will be closer to this.
That works.
Okay. Yeah, usually it does work for most people. The rest of this is a grid, okay? It's kind of lets me know where I'm getting to when I'm putting your recipient sites in, all right? And this, what we're looking at there, that's probably going to be about 700 of them, 600 plus.
That
Okay?
would be individual holes you're speaking of in
It's
those numbers?
individual holes that I'm speaking of, yes.
So you like put a spaghetti strainer up there and just start poking?
Whack. Take this ice pick, boom, 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 boom.